Welcome to Restoration Garage. I'm Steve Smiley, and today we're going to be working on our Ford F-350 1974 project truck. We're going to be removing the front clip off of that truck today, and we're going to remove the fenders, the front grille, the inner fender wells, as well as the radiator mounts. So hang tight and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here we are at the grill. There's a couple different things that you need to do in order to get this off. Again, I've gone and taken all the bolts out and everything so I can show you guys exactly, where these things are coming from. So you've got all these. This section here actually pulls out, so you're going to need to remove that from that section there. You're also going to find in here bolts up here that are on the hood latch. You're going to find other bolts that are going to be down in there as well. See if I can get an angle in there. They're going to be down in there that you're going to need to go ahead and hunt around for. One of the interesting things on this, though, is on this right here, you can see in here, these are held on by these little screws. So you have multiple screws in there that you're going to need to take off to get that piece off and be able to get better access into here to get off the front grille. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this here and kind of take you around real quick and show you where some of the bolt slots are, so you can reference this if you have a hard time finding one when you're taking yours off. All right, so now we move on to the front fender. And I tell you what, this thing here is going to require a couple extra arms if you have them. But it can be done by one person, and I did it myself. This should help you save some time knowing exactly where some of these bolts are in order for you to be able to get this taken off in a much quicker time than it took me. So you're going to go ahead and across the top up here, you're going to see multiple sections here for bolts. You're going to take those on out there. You're going to see on here in the front multiple bolts that go on in here as well. Now, the easiest way to get to those is to come on up underneath here and feel around for those bolts that are up in there. This one up here on the top, the easiest way to do that is to stick an extension through there, and maybe even a swivel tip if you need to, and you could get these two top bolts out of here. So we did that. There's a brace down here that you're going to need to disconnect. Coming right along. The other piece that took me forever to find was right up in here. That piece right there had a bolt that holds this whole thing on. And basically what you do is you come in through the door. You can see where this is kind of cut out. And you could go ahead and get your socket wrench in there to be able to go ahead and hit that piece that you could see on up in there. So hopefully that'll save you some time. And again, with the other parts, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off and show you exactly where those bolts are so you can reference it should you have an issue trying to get it off. So the next step in this process here is to remove the hood hinge. Now this hood hinge, I'll admit, was a challenge. I've removed several of these in the past, but both of them on this truck here really gave me a hard time, and I'm going to show you exactly what happened. So in here, these bolts are just kind of wedged in there. Seems to be that they're seated in a kind of like a square housing, and they just started spinning. I tried to wedge screwdrivers in there to stop it, pushing it in, pushing it out. None of them really fixed the problem. So to be honest with you, I actually had to cut off two of them, but finally got that removed. This is the bolt and the nut that goes through this part of it up here, attaching it up to the cowl firewall. And then, of course, you've got your bolts down here as well. So the next step in this process is to remove the inner fender wheel well. And this here is held on by multiple bolts as well. Looks like 3 to 4 different sizes. Most of these nuts and bolts here all share about the same size. So if you keep those near and close to you, you won't be fiddling around for too many sockets. So you're going to want to remove these couple up here on the post that holds the radiator. And up front here, you're going to see you've got a bolt there. You have a bolt there, a bolt, several bolts down in there as well. You're also going to have a nut and a bolt here that you're going to need that's attached to a piece of rubber, almost like a piece of tire that holds this whole piece against the cowl here, or the firewall that is. So we're going to go ahead and remove this here, and then we'll come back and review and show you the different parts while this piece is off. Now it's time to remove the radiator mount. So the radiator mount's actually pretty easy. Once you remove the actual radiator from the mount itself, there's going to be two 11/16 bolts down here with rubber bushings that you'll need to remove. Now they're going to be pretty impacted, so you're probably going to need some sort of breaker bar or maybe an impact wrench. Remove these two, and the radiator support will come out on its own. All right, well, now that we have everything free here on the grill, we're going to kind of show you where a lot of the different openings are and so forth. So you can see several of these smaller ones are going to be for the grill inserts. Go ahead and swing around the back here. You can see several different spots right here that are going to have for your bolts as well. And I'm going to go ahead and flip this over to the back side. All right, here you go. You've got the edging. This is actually where the front fender connects. The back side. That connects right there to your hitch mechanism, or to your latch mechanism for the hood. Got your other side. All right, so here we are with the fender off, and we're going to go ahead and take you around and show you where most of the bolts are located so you can reference back. So this is the front right here. This is actually the part where the grill goes into. So you can see on here you've got bolt locators right here. These are the ones I was telling you that are really, really hard to get. This is the one that you use the light access to get to, as well as I think there's one other bolt in there that you can get to as well. This here is the part that goes down to the bracing underneath the fender well. Come along the top, you can see where the different bolt holes are as well. And then this one here bolts to the bottom of the truck itself. And you can see right here, these are the prongs for the emblems as well. So you've got your top emblem right here, and then 1, 2, 3. 3 parts right here, so you can see how that emblem's held on there. And then this piece right here is a piece of basically mud flashing that is just really brittle and crispy. So we're going to try to see if we can find or replicate a piece of that part. Now we have our inner fender well. This is actually the top portion of it. You've got your bolts right here that go into the fender. This was the part here that held on the hood springs. This is attached here to the firewall. And then last, I was telling you about how this nut in here just kept spinning, came out of this hole right here. Actually, this hole right here. If any of you folks out there know of a way to make that stop, feel free to put a comment in there so that way we all know. So thank you for tuning in to Restoration Garage, and I hope what we did here today will help you save some time on your project. I estimate it took us about 3.5 hours to take this whole front clip off, and to be honest with you, the hardest part was those couple screws that come in the front to hold the fender onto the front grille, as well as that other bolt way in the back that we had to go in through the door jamb on. So hopefully some of those tips there will save you some time in your restoration projects. So once again, for Restoration Garage, please hit subscribe and like, and we'll see you on the next episode.